Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to yet another episode of Anything and Everything with D, the podcast where anything goes. Before I get started, I just wanted to take the time out and just say thank you to everybody who has been supporting me and listening to me. I really appreciate it. This has been a very long and interesting journey for me. And, just know that the support is, appreciated. Also, another shout out to Gotham Podcast, just for allowing people like myself the opportunity to do their craft and just enjoy it. So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, you guys. It's actually just me by myself. And, when I first thought about starting a podcast, I thought about a lot of options as far as people do podcasts by themselves, people do podcasts with other people, they have like co-hosts or whatever. But I just want the opportunity to be able to do what I enjoy and not always have to have, someone come on. And that may sound like weird to some people, but I feel like sometimes there are just some conversations that I want to have with you guys, my listeners, that are just going to be a little bit more intimate. And today what I'm going to be talking to you guys about is just kind of like my journey here and how important it is for you guys to just love on yourselves, to be committed to yourselves and your journey. And I'm gonna get into that just kind of by starting telling you guys a little bit about myself and my journey and how I got here. So for all of you guys that actually know me personally, my name is Delbra. I'm a single mother of 3 beautiful babies, and that in itself has been a very, very interesting journey for me, to say the very, very least. And getting here where I am, talking into this microphone, speaking to you guys, has been a very, very interesting, and it hasn't been an easy process, but I made it here. And so you guys hear my voice, and I want you to know that this is a testament to hard work and just believing in yourself and the things that you're passionate about. So like you guys have heard me mention before, just me starting a podcast was something that, it was an idea. It was an idea because anybody who knows me personally knows that I'm just like very deep into conversation. I'm a very, very deep conversationalist. I'm very intrigued by what other people have to say, and a lot of people often come to me for advice. I think I've always been like that advice person. I feel like I have experienced so many things on many different levels across various spectrums, and people just, I think they're kind of like drawn to me in a way that I guess I give like good advice or whatever. I like to think so. I don't know. And I found myself having conversations with people that were really, really amazing. And I always say to myself, like, what? I know that so many other people struggle with and go through similar things. And I feel like people need to hear these conversations, because the thing about having conversations is that so many people don't have them because they're afraid of what people may think. And I think that people are also afraid of how they're feeling. People sometimes don't understand their feelings. It's scary to people sometimes, and I get it, I get it, and that's why I'm here. So the most important thing, I feel like, you guys, is that you really, really need to know how much your mindset affects what you're doing on your day-to-day, right? So I know, let's talk about me when I was a child. When I grew up, I think that I said, when I grow up, I want to be a lawyer. I think that was my thing for a few years, actually. I swore up and down that I was going to be a lawyer because I wanted to help people. And I always felt like I was really good at arguing, you guys, and that's not always the case. Like, my points are really valid sometimes, but there are times where I don't know how to get across what I'm saying. It can be very frustrating. But, I was passionate about criminal justice. My mother is a paralegal. So I've always had an interest, and I was always very passionate about that. The one thing that I did know is that I just genuinely wanted to help people. I wanted to make an impact. I wanted to make a difference. And at that time, I thought that, law or criminal justice was a way that I could do that, because obviously, as we know, the criminal justice system is extremely broken. That was my train of thought at that time when I was younger. Then I became a mom. And once I became a mom, everything changed for me. So Alexandra, she's my oldest, she's 8 years old. She was born on January 24th, 2012. And obviously, like everybody says, that is really the day that my life changed. Everybody says it, but it's like, it's a real thing, you guys. Once you have a child, you know, your whole world is completely different. Nothing is as you knew it before. And it's very scary. It's a very, very scary thing. So once I had Alexandra, I kind of felt like it was something that I was meant for. Like, I've always had this feeling that I was meant to be a mom. I've always been like that very maternal friend. Like, when we go out with friends and like my friends are getting shit-faced drunk, like, I'm the one that comes and I have to hold your hair back and clean up the bonnet. Like, that's also always been me. I've just always had like this very maternal side to me. So, you know, although being a mother for the first time was scary, it just kind of felt right, if that makes any sense. It just felt like something that I was supposed to do, something that I was meant to do. So as far as what I wanted to do with my life going forward, at this time, you guys, I was 23. I am a high school dropout. I did get my GED. I started working at a very, very young age. And I kind of wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do. I just know that I wanted to be the best mother to my daughter and, you know, provide for her in the best way that I can. And, you know, once I had my daughter, I was able to kind of see what my mom went through. You know, my mother and I haven't always had the greatest relationship, and I feel like a lot of that was because I was resentful towards her for a few things, and I kind of had to accept accountability to what I may have contributed to the reason, you know, why our relationship was the way it was. But I do know that my mom was going through a lot of things herself, and, you know, as a mom, or as parents, not even as a mom, because I'm not the only mother in the world. But as parents, you know, we try our best, but we are still people ourselves, and we still go through things ourselves, and it's very hard. You know, it's really hard sometimes to separate what you're going through and just be that strong knight in shining armor for your child. So, you know, that I learned from her, and just, I knew that I didn't want my relationship with my child to be like the relationship that I had with my mom. I wanted to be different. But like I said, once you have kids of your own, you're kind of understanding of your parents more, and just you get a different view of who they are and how they struggled once you get to see the struggle, because let me tell you, the struggle is real. Everybody who is a parent out there knows exactly what I'm saying. Struggle is all the way real with these kids. Like, it's serious. So, you know, from that point of having my daughter, you know, I still didn't know exactly, like I said, what I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to be a good mother. And let me just throw in here that I'm missing quite a few big parts of my life, because right now, I just, like I said, I'm trying to concentrate on explaining to you guys like how I got here and kind of that thought process. So after I had Alexandra, not really knowing exactly where I wanted to go in life, I ended up having, 3 years later, my daughter Leia. Leia is now 5 years old, and she was born on November 17th, 2014. And once I had Leia, I was just like, you know what, I need to go back to school. There was just something in me that I honestly don't know exactly what it was, but I said to myself, I was like, you know what, I need to be doing something. You know, I know I'm doing something great by being a mom, but I need to be doing something more. Like, I want to go to school, I want to do things, I want to have a career. So I went to college, and I started studying criminal justice. And, you know, honestly, I was great. I did great in school. I got good grades. But there was just something, you know, I questioned a lot. I was like, is this really what I want to do? Like, are these the choices that I want to make? Is this the road that I want to go down? So eventually I ended up leaving school after a year. I moved away, and then I came back to New York. So I moved to Virginia, came back to New York. And when that happened, I was going through such a rough time emotionally. I was having the hardest years of my life. I want to say, right now we're in 2020. So I think I want to say it's 2017. Yes, 2017 to 2019 were the hardest years of my life as a woman and as a mother. And I was challenged a lot, and I was very broken. I went through some pretty difficult things that honestly almost broke me to my core. And I had to figure that out within myself at the same time as still being a mother to my children. And that was something that it was really, really hard for me. And during that time, I met someone, a really good friend, that I've known, since I was in high school. Not even high school, since I was in middle school. And, they kind of just were like that guiding light for me and just kind of helped me snap out of where I was. And it was like, you know what, Delbert, it's time to like get down to business. Like, what are you doing with your life? Where are you going? How are you going to make it happen? So this is basically the entire point of this episode, you guys. I don't think that we understand the power that we truly, truly have within ourselves. And I think that that's a problem. A lot of that has to do with social media. A lot of that has to do with how we were brought up. A lot of that has to do with what we see in our day-to-day. Me coming here and doing this, like I said, this was just a conversation. This was just something that I was like, you know what? It's something that I want to do. So do you know how we often say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get up and go to the gym. Oh, tomorrow. Not today. I'm tired. And then we just never get to do these things. But I'm at a point in my life where there's this person that I want to become. And in order for me to become that person, I have to really, really put in that work. And if you guys are not willing to put in the work, you're not going to get where you want to be. So this is important to me. And I know that it's important to others, because this is something that so many people struggle with. I feel like we live today in a very, very weak-minded society. And like I just said, that has a lot to do with social media. It has a lot to do with how we were raised. It has a lot to do with what we allow into our lives. If you do not put in the work to get to where you want to be, how do you expect anything in your life to change? I wanted to do something. I found something that I was passionate about, and I took the steps to put that into fruition. I could have failed, absolutely. People are so afraid of failure. They're so afraid of things that they don't know, but that's how we learn, through experience. Experience is the greatest teacher in the world. If you do not experience and if you do not go through things, you simply cannot learn. You simply cannot push forward. So what I want to convey to you guys is that stop complaining. Stop complaining about where you are. Stop complaining about how you're unhappy. Stop complaining, because that was me all the time. Oh my God. Like, I think about it now and I'm like, oh my God, Delbert, you were so annoying. Because all I did was complain about how unhappy I was. All I did was complain about the situation that I was in. And I just put myself in this place where I was so sad and I was so depressed. And mind you, I have these 3 beautiful children that I have to wake up for every day, that I have to be present for every day, that I have to answer to, that I have to cater to, that I have to raise. That's an immense responsibility. And there were times where I honestly felt like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, how can I be a good mother to my children and try to figure myself out at the same time? So I started having these conversations with myself, and I'm like, you know what, Deborah, what do you want in life? What is it that you really want? What is your goal? What are you trying to achieve? What type of people do you want your children to be? What type of person do you want to be? And, I started having these conversations with myself, and little by little, I started gaining the confidence to take steps towards doing things better for myself and my life. And that's something that I think that everyone is capable of, because like I said, we greatly, greatly underestimate the power of our minds. We greatly underestimate the power of ourselves and all the things that we can do, and also the effect that we have on other people. And if there are certain things in your life that you're not happy with, you need to try to see what you can do to change that. Instead of, having that victim mentality, because I definitely had that victim mentality and it just wasn't working. Nothing is going to change. You have to make those choices. Don't even, don't let others put you down or make you just feel a way that it makes you question who you are. The thoughts of other people and their feelings towards you, if they're in a negative way, that is just a reflection of who they are. Who you are is defined by you and you alone. It is not defined by any other person. It is not defined by anything material. It is not defined by, like I said, anything other than yourself. And I think it's very important for us to recognize that and to realize that and to put that effort into what we want. We all know about, the top 1%. We see all these people who have money and have companies, and whether they're born into it or not, I really could care less, because at the end of the day, they're continuing to work for what they want. If we do not work, if we do not tell ourselves that we are worthy, if we do not tell ourselves that we are good enough, we're not going to get anywhere, period. Period, point, looking. So I want you all listening to me, whether you're walking to work, whether you're sitting at home, whether you're on break, I really want you to just hear me and listen to what I'm saying, and know that you are worthy, know that you are capable, and you have to put in the work. That's the problem, is that people are so easily discouraged, and people do not want to put in the work that it takes to get those results. It's not easy. And a perfect example of this is, we don't keep promises to ourselves, right? I know that you've often heard motivational speakers say, the best thing to do when you wake up in the morning is to make your bed. And the reason they say that is, it kind of sets the tone for the rest of your day. And it's amazing how something so small can have such a huge impact on you, on who you are, and the choices that you will make to come. Just like if you want to lose weight and okay, I'm going to go to the gym. Oh, but I'm too tired, so I'm going to not go today, I'm going to go tomorrow. No. When you don't want to do something, that means that you should push yourself even more to do that thing that you do not want to do. That's how you win. That's how you move forward. That's how you become great. Greatness is not handed to anybody. Success is not handed to anybody. These are things that you have to work for. I'm not sitting here talking to you because it's just something to pass the time. No, this is something that I'm passionate about. This is something that I wanna move forward with. This is something that means a lot to me. And for me to be able to even have this platform and to talk to you guys, it's a blessing. This is a blessing in itself, and I worked very, very hard to get here. So what you all need to know is that you have to keep those promises to yourself, because then you're conditioning yourself for failure. When you say that you want to do these things, right, and you don't follow through with them, you're conditioning yourself to feel like it's okay. No, it's not okay. And you're not going to always have somebody there to tell you that that's not okay. You're not going to always have somebody there to tell you to push forward and be great. That's another thing. So many of us are affected by our environment and our surroundings and the things that we go through. And trust me, I more than anybody know that it is hard. It is hard sometimes to see certain things and live a certain way and push forward. But you know what? That's what's going to make you even greater. That's what's going to make you even more successful. That's what's going to make you even more ambitious and driven, is to come from where you have come from and to still be able to persevere and push forward and just achieve greatness. And that all starts with yourself. That all starts with how you wake up in the morning. What are your thoughts when you wake up in the morning? Are you waking up annoyed? Are you waking up angry? Are you waking up sad? Ask yourself why that is. Ask yourself, where are you right now in your life that makes you question certain things, that makes you feel these ways? And then you need to work towards resolving that issue. You need to work towards trying to change the dynamic, right? So that way you can feel differently. So that way you can not be so unhappy with your life. Happiness comes from within, and yes, you hear that all the time, and you hear it all the time because it's the truth. If you're looking for happiness in another person, I promise you, you will not find it. You will not find it, because that's not where happiness lies. Love is great. Friendship is great. Relationships are fine and dandy. But do you know why so many of those things do not succeed? because you're not happy with yourself. Why are you not happy with yourself? Because you're not putting in that time and work into yourself to be great. Because you don't think you're worthy, and that's because whether you've heard it from somebody else or because that's just how you feel, and you need to change your mindset. I tell people all the time, sometimes they think that I'm crazy. I said we can change the world, and it's obviously not going to happen overnight. It's obviously something that's going to take who knows how long, but we can really change the world, and that starts with us and how we think, how we treat other people, how we treat ourselves. It's not impossible. We have come such a long way, right? Society has regressed a little bit. I suppose that's only natural. But, you guys need to know, like, you need to push forward. You need to be great. You need to not care or worry about what other people think. You need to get up in the morning, tell myself or tell yourself, hey, it's gonna be a good day. And shit is gonna happen. Shit happens all the time. People are hurt all the time. I go through things sometimes where I will sit there and I will cry. I cry a lot. Let me just say, like, I'm a crybaby, guys, and I cry for probably everything. But, that's just me. I'm a very emotional person. I'm very in tune with my emotions, and it shows. And I try really hard sometimes. But, that's just, it's who I am. And like I said, it's important that you guys know the power that you hold and how important that is, especially if you're a parent. I have 3 children that are looking to me like, hey, what's next? Like, these are my children. I have to raise them, and of course I want my children to be good people. I can only prepare them and equip them with the proper tools to the best of my ability, and I can only hope and pray that they choose to be good human beings. A lot of what we do in this life is by choice. I know that a lot of people feel like free will does not exist. That is an entirely different conversation within itself as far as the world that we live in and the craziness that is going on. But you do have a lot of choice. Your life, your actions, those are your choices to make. The person that you are, the person that you choose to be, that's a choice. You choose to be who you are. You choose to do the things that you do.